Richard Unfiltered with Jim Krenn, Sheila Highland, episode 18. Is it 18?
Is
Yeah.
it? That sounds like a lot of
It is.
episodes.
I don't know why I remember that.
I don't know why I ask every
Right,
week.
we're getting there. We're getting there.
We are. And every week we have to remind ourselves how long we've been here.
In 18.
It's 17, 18. Okay, yeah.
This is a great 18th, though.
It
Ice
is.
cream.
We're at Clavon's, this unbelievable classic ice cream parlor in the Strip District. This is your hometown.
This is my hometown. This was my stop on the way. I grew up on 12th Street, but I'd walk up here to play Little League in Polish Hill, and this was my my stop on the way to the games, where I'd have a sundae or some sort of milkshake or malt, and then I go to the game. And then I come after the game.
Oh, you
have
go
another
before
one.
and after.
Oh, absolutely.
And I got to say,
Yeah.
as a native, and really not far from here, across the river, born in Millville, I've known about the place, but I've never been inside. It is actually unbelievable. They got a apothecary museum of some sort. I could see the Vicks Vapo Rub from like 1910 over there.
Well, the interesting thing about that, with the drugstore aspect of this place at those days, but Dr. Clavon was my doctor as a child from as far as I remember, until I was like 12 or 13 years old, and his office was in Bloomfield. Dr. Clavon, who is their, I guess, the originator's
original, yeah.
grandfather, probably, or whatever.
Yeah.
But he was a wonderful doctor and a great guy and a really nice guy, and so it's kind of cool.
I think his wife was behind the counter getting the ice cream.
She was one making those malts for me.
Yes.
Well, you're going to
Wow.
meet the owner is Jacob Hanchar. He'll join us in a few minutes. But joining us now here at Clavon's, which sounds very anti-Yinzer. Most Yinzers might say Don Clavins or Clavans. Rick Seaback,
We're all.
the greatest documentarian ever of all time, WQED. We are all big fans. Rick Seaback, because it was actually you where I first heard of this ice cream parlor, Clavon's.
Well, I knew that we were coming to do this, so I just, I thought, like, there's all these, it's Pittsburgh and everything connects.
Right.
And in 1996, I did the Strip Show, which was about the Strip District. And at that point, and I realized I'd known Jimmy for 6 years, because I think I met you and Scott Paulson when we did the bridges, flying off the bridge to nowhere. We
That's
did a
right.
whole morning at the over at Station Square,
Yeah.
and we had you guys set up a father and son who jumped off the Smithfield Street Bridge into the river.
Yes.
It was a cold morning too. We were all
Yes.
in coats and everything, and
It was great.
so I'd known Jimmy for a while, and they used to have me on the show. And then when we started to do this, I knew Jim was from the Strip, so I asked him if we could come down. And actually, we walk into Woolies, and he talks about giving the fish a haircut and do all these things.
True.
And he showed us where his house was, and on Penn Avenue rear.
Yes. Yeah.
And,
great memory.
So if you look at the show now, it progresses from there, saying, and this is, so it's 25 or 26 years ago, 1996. At that point, no one lived in the Strip. Now people are moving to the
Right.
Strip and living here. But
Big
at that
time.
point, very few people lived in the Strip, although it had been, earlier, a very popular place to live. And we had several people who had grown up in the Strip. But then it pointed to Clavon's. But here's what really happened was that day that we interviewed Jimmy, and a Post-Gazette reporter, Mike Fuco, was with us that day because he wanted to follow us for a day. And we started at DeLuca's, and then we went on and we got Jimmy, and we did a whole thing at Sam Box.
Yes, we
'Cause he
did.
talked
Yes.
about Sam
Oh, God,
Box.
it's so funny.
That's not a man's name. It means grocery store.
We have a funny story behind that, but yeah.
Yeah. But the next, I think it was Monday, it was a holiday, I'm not sure, it was in October of 96. Jimmy and I were on the front page of the Post-Gazette.
Yes. It was amazing.
And
It's so cool.
it was about doing the Strip Show. And so it was just really nice, and the whole experience was really wonderful. But because of that article that appeared on the front page, Ray Clavon called me. And he said, I saw that you're doing this video on the Strip District, and I know that you're going to want to see my father's pharmacy. And I said, you know what? We're done shooting. I think the day with Jimmy was our last day. And he said, no, I'm telling you, you're going to want to see this. He said it's been closed for a while, and I said, okay, well, I'll come down. I don't have a crew today. I'll come down and take a look. And I remember him opening the door here. This place was just full of lumber, and it was a storage space, but you could see all this stuff all around you. Mm-hmm. And I said, you're right. It's too good a story. So I arranged to get an extra day of shooting just to come to Clavon's. And it was really wonderful. And we had a little technical problem. So when you see it, Ray is actually in black and white. We call it the little Wizard of Oz effect. And when he opens the door, then it goes to color when you come in here. I'm going to say 5 to 7 days between when I first stopped and when I came back, he had the lumber removed. So he can just walk around. It was just an abandoned pharmacy at that point. But he talks about how beautiful the 18-foot long counter is with this rare marble that has blood red stains in it, and the stools that are designed after Coca-Cola bottle caps, and he talks about the telephone booths, and there were all these other things that he obviously loved and he had grown up with, and he talked about gathering pennies out of the scale, and it was just a really wonderful thing. And then I'm going to say 2 or 3 years later, he announced that he was going to stop being a teacher and he was going to open this place as an ice cream parlor. So it was just really a remarkable thing. And then I think after I actually went to his funeral, I remember up in I'm going to say it must be Friendship. He has like 8 brothers and sisters, Ray did. And but after he passed away, they decided to sell the place, and Jacob bought it. And he, I think, raised it up like several steps, because Ray always got ice cream, I want to say from a place on the north side, like Rhinelanders. Reinhold's.
Okay.
Reinhold's ice cream.
Okay.
And then, but then he started to bring some in from the creamery at Penn State. And then he took the course, and now they make all their own ice cream here. So this is like a superb, amazing ice cream store.
Full disclosure, we're enjoying some right now. I want to thank Maya for making up a couple of chocolate milkshakes.
They make their own whipped
Yes.
cream too. And just to mention Rick, how off the subject of how powerful of a filmmaker he is, and how he touches people's hearts and become you're I know you're a good friend and all that, but a treasure to Pittsburgh in a sense, in many senses. But my grandmother was in her late 80s and lived in the Strip District her whole life, and she was very, very sick in Millville when it came out, the strip show. And she was really sick, and it was the first time, and I saw her just smiling for the entire show, watching Rick's show, and that's amazing, because
And that's where I
that's
first
what it's all
heard of
about,
this
right?
place.
It's like she's just smiling the whole
Yeah.
time. You touched her heart with her, where she lived her whole life.
And
We're
if
just
you
lucky
wanted
that
to
way.
know about Pittsburgh and you weren't from here, all you have to do is watch Rick's
It's serious.
documentaries, and you will know everything you need to know about Pittsburgh, and you will love Pittsburgh even more. Even
Sheila,
if
you're
you're
right.
from here.
A lot of people do that in companies when they have people transfer. They give, here's Rick Seebeck's library. You'll pretty much get it.
As Robert De Niro would say, you got a gift.
You got a gift. Yes.
Thank you.
We're lucky to have
You do
Really,
have a gift.
and that's how I first heard of it, was the strip show.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, when I first heard it was the strip show, I thought it was something else, but it turned out to be
Right.
this.
That's part B. That's a different
That was a
story,
different-
Larry.
Different story. But that's so funny, because some people from outside the city hear you're going to the strip district.
Yeah.
At first,
They
right?
think it's like some
And you're
sort of
red light
Amsterdam
district.
red light thing.
Yeah.
It's, no,
Right.
it's just just
But
Yeah.
that's not
little
the
strip
case.
of area where
Why is it
wholesale.
called the Strip District?
Because it's a strip, I'm guessing, where all the produce would come from out of town, and it would be, you know the answer, I'm just guessing. It's the strip where all the produce came.
Okay.
That's not it, is it?
That's even like I don't think the Strip becomes the produce center till about 1900, when it's moved from the Point to the Strip District. I think it's more elemental than that. It's geographical. It's a flat strip of land, between the hill and the river. It's just a flat strip of land, which Pittsburghers know is rare here.
Right.
But the funniest thing about this, just remind me when you said the Sam Bach thing, and I grew up here my whole life. And the funny thing about the Sam Bach thing is the wholesale Asian store down the street there. Kenny Oldensky lived in a peanut store across from Woolies. and he's one of the few families here, one of my lifelong friends, and we laugh about it till today. But he thought there was a rumor that Sam Bach was a person that owned that, and Kenny would have stories he'd hear on the streets about Sam Bach, like running the city, like from the underground kind of thing. And Kenny would tell me, hey, Sam Bach had a meeting, I heard, above the Sam Bach's. There's all kind of cars I saw out there and stuff. And there's like great rumors. So Rick asked me on camera, Sam Bach. I go, do I know who Sam Bach is? And Kenny, because it means supermarket. It's not a person. I remember calling Kenny was still stunned. What? Yeah, it means supermarket. Yep.
So how old is this place? Originally, as a pharmacy, dates back to what, the turn of the last century?
No, early 20s, early 1920s. Yeah.
And Rick, just do me a favor, because you're so descriptive. You're so good at describing.
Mm-hmm.
This is a podcast for those who are just listening and not watching. Describe what you see when you walk in, because this is like taking a step back in time. It's phenomenal.
It is. I mean, well, it's what I like to say. There are places that you can go that are like little time machines, and this is one of them. So much is untouched. The booths, and it's wooden, and I think it's dark wood, and that gives you a really warm, wonderful feeling. And then this marble counter and some of the old cases and everything. It's really amazing.
It was like a time where people took time to do things. Like it took time to make this. Took time as a kid. Everything's so fast now. Everything had a little ritual to it. Even I remember like the cola, even the soft drinks were made. They would put the syrup in this club soda, and they made them from the fountain. Like everything was just different. It was cool. It was really cool.
And what I like is, and we're going to talk to the owner, Jacob, in just a minute, is the fact that he obviously felt a passion. This isn't just, I wouldn't imagine, a way for him to make money. He had to be passionate about it to maintain and then, as you said, even upgrade and uplift Clavon's.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's an even better place now. All respect to Ray, but this guy's making his own ice cream, and that I think is always a real, indication of a spectacular ice cream place. So I mean,
28th and Penn in the Strip District. If you haven't been, it's also a big month, National Ice Cream for Breakfast Day, which is the first Saturday of February. So if you missed that, it's okay to have ice cream for breakfast anytime.
It's a
Which is
great,
what we're
great
doing
idea.
right now.
It's a great
Because
idea.
we're taping this in the morning.
Yeah, we should do this all the time. Ice cream for
What is
breakfast
it?
is
What
a
is
wonderful
it
idea.
about ice cream that transports you? It really does. I remember Isley's. When I'd go, my grandfather would give us the money to go get a skyscraper cone.
Yeah.
That was such a big deal. What is it about ice cream, Rick?
oh, I mean, it's sweet, it's smooth, it's your childhood. It's a thousand things. I mean, I did a show for PBS even before we did the strip show, called An Ice Cream Show.
Yep.
And I said it just may be the most perfect food on earth. It transcends categories.
If you had to choose one thing, a malt, a sundae, a banana split, a cone, what would Rick Seaback choose if it was one flavor in style of ice cream? What would you, if you had to do one? Said, Rick, this is the one you have to choose.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I know, but I want to know. What would Rick Seaback choose? What flavor?
I hate superlative
Oh, I
questions.
love that kind of stuff.
I hate superlative questions.
I like
because
putting you
why?
on, I just like putting you on the spot. I know you.
Okay,
But I know the
top
answer to
three
that.
then.
It's
Okay.
vanilla malt.
Vanilla malt.
Vanilla malt. Yeah,
Vanilla
I know.
malt.
If even with a lot of choices, I tend that way. I know from doing the ice cream show that among ice cream aficionados, when they go to a new place, the thing you want to taste is the vanilla.
It's like the standard, right?
Right, because that's what you judge the place on, is how good is their
That
vanilla.
sets the bar.
That sets the bar.
And actually, in that show, we start at Bassett's in Philadelphia, Bassett's Ice Cream Parlor.
Right.
Which was the first place that put the specks of vanilla bean in the vanilla.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, we all think of it as another place, right? Also from Philadelphia. So you can know they may have gotten the idea somewhere else.
Well, we're going to talk to the owner, Larry Richard Unfiltered, with Jim Krenn, Sheila Hyland, special guest Rick Seaback, the great documentarian, storyteller. And we're at Clavon's, 28th and Penn in the Strip District. Go to Odyssey. That's a free app, AUDACY. Or you can log on to kdkradio.com for access to all of our podcasts.